Welcome everybody. We are discussing the chapter Plant Kingdom. This is the chapter 3 of class 11th biology. So in our previous two sessions we have already discussed up to the classification of algae, and in this session we will discuss about the bryophytes. So bryophytes. So let us first discuss the features of bryophytes. The bryophytes are also called amphibians of the plant kingdom. Very important, children, from the examination of point of view. And why they are called amphibians? As you know, the amphibians can dwell in both land and water. But for reproduction, for laying eggs, they need water. Similarly, the bryophytes are the plants which can grow in the soil, marshy soil, but they are dependent on the water for sexual reproduction. Okay, that's why they are called amphibians of the plant kingdom. Excuse me. They usually occur in damp, humid and shaded localities, and they play a very important role in plant succession on bare rock or soil. So what do you mean by plant succession? Let me explain you. Suppose there is a bare rock or soil where there is no plant or animals previously existing. So if you leave such place for a long period of time unused, then you will see that after several years the plants have been grown in that place. And if it will be left for 50 or 100 years, then there will be a forest in that place. So how is it possible? Because in this bare rocks or soils, first of all the lichens grow. So when the lichens grow, they secrete some acid. So because of that acid, if it is a rock, then the weathering of the rocks takes place and they contain the moisture, and that moisture content is also added to the soil or the rock, and some amount of humus is also added to the rock or soil, and because of which the nutrient capacity of the soil or rock is increased, and now that rock or soil is suitable for the growth of the moss. As you know that moss can survive in the terrestrial land also. So after the growth of the lichen, when the lichens die and decompose, that will be added to the rocks and humus content will be increased. Now it is suitable for the growth of the mosses or the bryophytes. So these bryophytes grow on that rock. So the bryophyte contains more water content than the lichens. So that water content is added to the soil. So when these bryophytes grow, they also, some of the bryophytes, when they die, they add nutrients to the soil. So like this, the soil becomes enriched with the nutrients, and now it is suitable for the growth of the herbs. So sequentially, first lichen, then bryophytes, then herbs, shrubs, like this the different stages of plants are growing. So this is called plant succession. So in this way the bryophytes are very important in the plant succession. That's why for the ecology. Okay. Now regarding the structure of bryophytes, the body of the plant is not differentiated into true root, true stem and true leaves. They are differentiated into root-like, stem-like and leaf-like structure. Why I am saying? Because they lack the vascular tissue, or the xylem and phloem are absent, conducting tissue are absent. So they are leaf-like, they are not true leaf, they are stem-like, they are not true stem, they are root-like structures. So the root-like structures may be unicellular or multicellular, and they are called rhizoids. Very important. Okay. And one most important thing you have to remember, that is the main plant body of the bryophyte is a haploid. Haploid means having half set of chromosome, that is N. And The main plant body of bryophyte is a gametophyte. So why this is called gametophyte? Because it produces the gametes, so hence capable of reproducing sexually. Now what is the importance of bryophytes? The species of sphagnum, it is a type of moss. It provides the peat. Peat, you know, the peats are prepared for using as fuel. So the sphagnums can be used for preparing the peat, and it is also used as a packing material for transshipment of living materials because their capacity of होल्डिंग वाटर. देखो आपका क्योंकि स्पैग्नम का वाटर होल्डिंग कैपेसिटी ज्यादा है तो इसीलिए आपका फिश या मीट या फिर कोई लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म है लाइक क्रैब आपको शिप से ट्रांसपोर्ट करना है, सो इट विल टेक सेवरल डेज. तो उसमें अगर हम सेव करके रखते हैं, if it will be there, then the living material will be fresh and it will be lively. Okay, so the sphagnum is helpful in that way. Now mosses along with lichens, as I said, are the first organism to colonize the rock. So that helps in plant succession. That is the most important role played by the bryophytes in the ecosystem. So these bryophytes, as I said, when they grow on the rock, bare rock, after the growth of the lichen, they decompose the rock and make the substrate suitable for the growth of the higher plants. So that's why after the growth of the bryophytes, the rock is suitable for the growth of the herbs. And since mosses form a dense mat on the soil, I'll show you the picture how they form a dense mat on the soil, spongy structure. They reduce the impact of falling rain and prevent soil erosion. So you might have observed that if in your yard some land is always exposed to some water and that is not used, that is not cleaned, you might have observed that some spongy structures are growing in that region, even on the wall of the boundaries. So these are nothing but the mosses. So when the moss grow on the soil, they prevent the soil erosion because they cover the whole surface of the soil. That's why they prevent the soil erosion, and also the rain drops when falls on the soil, it damages the texture of soil. Big drops of rain. So that is also prevented by these bryophytes. Now the division of the bryophytes. The bryophytes are divided into two groups, that is liverwort and mosses. We will discuss this liverwort and mosses separately. So let us first discuss the liverworts. So the liverworts usually grow in the moist, sandy habitats like banks of streams, marshy ground, damp soil, bark of trees, and deep in the woods. The plant body of a liverwort is thalloid. You can see it is thalloid. It is a flattened leaf-like structure. It is the example of picture of Marchantia. Okay, the common example of liverwort. Okay, so here you can see the thallus is dorsiventral. Okay, this is called dorsal side, and the below side is called ventral side. Okay, dorsiventral, flattened and closely attached to the substrate. Substrate के साथ ये closely attached होके रहता है. The leafy members, जिसका leaf होता है, they have tiny leaf-like appendages in two rows on the stem-like structure. जो leafy structure, जो ये तो Marchantia है, लेकिन दूसरे केस में क्या होता है, अगर इसमें leafy structure होता है तो एक जैसे एक stem-like structure होता है और stem के दोनों तरफ leaves होते हैं. ठीक है, so you observe this plant carefully. Here I have shown two more structures. So you can see here the archegoniophore and antheridophore. Okay, so these two structures, please remember. I will be discussing it in the next slide. Now this reproduction in liverwort. Let us first discuss the asexual reproduction. This is a structure of Markantia. You can see how it is leaf-like structure, flattened, and the asexual reproduction, rather you can say the vegetative reproduction, takes place by fragmentation of the thallus. The thallus is when it is cut into pieces or divided into pieces, then piece will develop into a new plant. The other method of asexual reproduction is the formation of zyma. Zyma is the plural form of zyma. So what is zyma? Here you can see these corp-like structures. Okay, these corp-shaped structures, so many corp-shaped structures are there. These are green multicellular asexual buds which develop in the small receptacle. Okay, so you can see these are the corp-like structures. Okay, these are called receptacles or the zyma corp, and the zyma corp upon maturity detaches from the parent body and germinate to form a new plant, because these are simply buds. The zyma corps are the simply buds. So when, as you know, that budding in hydra, budding in yeast, so when they mature, they get separated from the parent body and they develop into a new organism. So similarly, here also the zyma corp separates from the parent body and it can grow into a new plant. Now the sexual reproduction in liverwort. So here you can see the sexual, these two are the plant body. You can see this is here I am showing the life cycle of a liverwort. As I have said, the main plant body is gametophyte. That means it can produce the gametes. Okay. So now here you can see these are the zyma corps and these are the female gametophyte. So when this thallus gets maturity, sexual maturity, then it forms the female gametophyte, female sex organ, and these sex organ, female sex organs are having a leafy structure at its top that is called archegonial head. That is called archegonial head. Okay. Similarly, in the male gametophyte is developed from the thallus. So the male gametophyte develops a leafy structure at its terminal part, and that is called antheridial head. So am I clear? So this is the thallus. The thallus develops upon maturity, sexual maturity, develops the female gametophyte and male gametophyte. The male gametophyte develops archegonial head, which is a leafy structure, and here also the male gametophyte produces a antheridial head. Now this portion is highlighted. Here it is magnified. You can see how is the structure. So this is male gametophyte. Here you can see these structures are male reproductive structures, that is called antheridia. This antheridia produces the sperm or antherozoids. Okay, so here when it matures, the sperms are released and they are dispersed by water. They are carried away by the water. Water current से ये फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव पार्ट के पास चले जाते हैं. The female reproductive part is called archegonia. Here you can see these are the archegonia. So just very small structures. Here it is labeled as archegonia are present. Now when the sperm reaches the archegonia, what happens? Now here you see the events. So when the sperm released from the antheridia reaches the archegonia, here this is the archegonia, structure of individual archegonia. So in one female gametophyte, many archegonia are there. Similarly, on one antherid, that is male gametophyte, many antheridia are there. So here you can see that the archegonia, this is archegonia which contains a single egg. Now the sperm which are carried by water now falls on it and the sperm enters into the archegonium, and in the archegonium the sperm fuses with the egg to form the zygote, and the zygote develops into the embryo by division. As you know, the egg is haploid, sperm is haploid. So these haploid sperm and egg fuse together to form the zygote, which is diploid. Now the diploid zygote now divides to form an embryo. Then this embryo develops into another plant, but this stage of the plant is called sporophyte. This stage of, because I have told you this plant has two stages. The main plant is gametophyte, but the other stage in its life cycle is sporophyte. So here you can see the embryo has been developed into sporophyte, and the sporophyte has three regions. You can see here is foot, seta and capsule. There are three structures. Foot, the green color structure is foot, then the stalk is seta, and this ball-like structure is called capsule. Now this capsule produces the spore by meiotic division, because it is diploid, but the gametophyte is haploid. So now the spore has to be haploid. तो इसीलिए आपका जो कैप्सूल होता है, कैप्सूल में स्पोर जो प्रोड्यूस होते हैं बाय मियोसिस एंड दे फॉर्म द हैप्लोइड स्पोर्स. Now these haploid spores are released from the capsule upon maturity, and each spore develops into a new thallus of liverwort. So this is the life cycle of liverwort. Here it shows alternation of generation. How? Let me tell you. The main plant body is gametophyte, which by sexual reproduction gives rise to sporophyte. Okay. Now the sporophyte reproduce asexually by producing the spores, and again the spore gives rise to the gametophyte. So here there are two phases in its life cycle, and they are alternating with each other. So this is called alternation of generation. Okay. I hope this is clear to you. The life cycle of liverwort is clear to you. Then next come to other group, that is mosses. In mosses also the predominant stage of the life cycle is gametophyte, and this life cycle involves two stages. Like the gametophyte itself consists of two stages. The first stage is protonema, very important. Often it is asked in the exam, what is the difference between protonema and prothallus? Okay, so after studying Periorophyta, you can write that, you can tell the difference between protonema and prothallus. So what is protonema? It often comes in the exam. It is the first stage of the gametophyte, which is tubular stem-like branched structure, which develops directly from a spore. So स्पोर से पहले फॉर्मेशन होता है प्रोटोनोमा स्टेज. It is a creeping green branched and frequently filamentous stage. I will show you the picture. The second stage is the leafy stage, which develops from the secondary protonoma and a lateral bud. So first, when a spore falls on a substratum, and if favorable condition is there, then that develops into a creeping green stem-like structure, horizontal stem-like structure, which is branched and filament-like structure, rather you can say, that is called protonema. Okay. Now this protonema develops leaf-like structures on either side, and the branches of the protonema also develops leaf-like structure, and now it is called secondary protonema or leafy stage of the protonema. Okay, so now this protonema, they consist of upright slender axis bearing spirally arranged leaves, and they are attached to the soil through multicellular and branched rhizoid. So now what happens, this is the gametophyte. When it is forming the erect slender branches, it is a fully formed gametophyte. So see, the gametophyte has two stages. One is primary protonema, then secondary protonema, and the secondary protonema when develops, the secondary protonema itself is the gametophyte, and this gametophyte upon maturity forms upright or slender branch which bears the sex organs. Am I clear? So here you can see the diagram. So here you can see how the bryophytes, the mosses have grown. So can you tell that it is the part of a tree or some rock is there? Absolutely not. It is a very spongy structure. So if it is a soil, then it is totally covered by the bryophytes, and it in this way it prevents the soil erosion. Like this, the Marchantia are also growing. They prevent the soil erosion. Now, if you take only one plant out of this, इससे एक ही प्लांट आप लेकर अगर माइक्रोस्कोप पे देखोगे तो द स्ट्रक्चर विल बी लाइक दिस. सो दिस इज द gametophyte, the main plant. What is gametophyte? Okay, the gametophyte has rhizoids, that is root like structure, then stem like structure, then leaf like structures, and in the gametophyte only the sporophyte is developed. But आपका लिबोरोट में क्या हो रहा था कि गैमेटोफाइट में जो गैमेट फॉर्मेशन हो रहे थे वो फ्यूजन के बाद स्पोर रिलीज होता था और गैमेटोफाइट का स्पोरोफाइट बनता था और स्पोरोफाइट से स्पोर रिलीज होकर फिर से गैमेटोफाइट होता था. यहाँ आप देख सकते हैं द स्पोरोफाइट इज ग्रोइंग ऑन द गैमेटोफाइट इटसेल्फ. ठीक है, तो ये जो स्टॉक है दिस इज कॉल्ड सीटा. Okay, and the portion by which it is attached to the gametophyte is called foot, seta, and then this is capsule. So this part is the sporophyte and this part is the gametophyte. But in the life cycle of the moss plant, the gametophytic phase is dominant, predominant. That means ज़्यादा समय तक gametophytic phase में रहता है. So here you can see the protonema. So these are here I have shown you the how the reproduction takes place by fragmentation. यहाँ आपका जैसे fragmentation हो गया है moss plant, and that each fragment will now develop into a new moss plant. Okay, but here we see the most important feature. I was telling you about the protonema. So protonema is the primary stage. This is the primary protonema. This is the first stage of the gametophyte. So when a spore falls on a favorable condition or any substratum, then it develops a creeper. So here you can see a horizontal stem-like structure or filamentous structure, and it is branched often. So this structure is protonema. Now this protonema, here you can see the protonema has developed the leaf-like structure. So once it develops the leaf-like structure, it is called secondary protonema or leafy stage of the protonema or the gametophyte. So this is the young gametophyte, but when this gametophyte matures, it produces the archegonia and antheridia. I will show you the picture so that it will be clear to you. So here you can see this is the primary protonema, which has rhizoids. The lower branches are called rhizoids and the upper branches are there. Then it develops into a leafy structure. Okay, so how it has been developed, here you can see the spore. From the spore gradually it is forming. Okay, when the spore is germinating, you can see that the spore has been germinated gradually into a, so the diagram A is a spore, then in B gradually the tube is formed, then here the tube is more elongated and branched. Now it has formed the protonema. This is how the asexual reproduction takes place by the production of spores. Now the life cycle of moss. In the life cycle of moss, as I said, there are two phases, that is sporophytic phase and gametophytic phase. Gametophytic phase is predominant, and that is the first stage of the gametophyte is the protonema. Then the gametophyte is formed. Let me explain it with the help of diagram. So here you can see the gametophyte. Okay, so this is the gametophyte. This gametophyte has two branches. Here I have shown many branches are there, but in two different branches, the male reproductive structure and the female reproductive structures are produced. The male reproductive structure is called antheridium, and the female reproductive organ is called archegonium. Okay, so here the antheridium produces the antherozoid or sperms. So this is the structure of a single antheridium which is located here, and from the antheridium, so there are so many antheridiums, but here I have shown you only one antheridium. From each antheridium the sperms are released, and when the archegonium is matured, the archegonium produces the egg inside it. So here you can see the structure of archegonium, and this archegonium has produced a single egg. So each archegonium has one egg, but each antheridium has thousands of sperms. So now these sperms are dispersed by water, they are carried by water because they have flagella, so they are motile and they can move up to the female reproductive structure. And now this female reproductive structure has a neck-like structure. So the sperm, when falls upon it, it passes through this neck of the archegonium and reaches the egg. Now it fuses with the egg, and here you can see the zygote has been formed. ठीक है, तो archegonia is intact, it is intact with the plant body. सिर्फ antheridium का sperm release हुआ है और archegonia. So archegonia plant body के साथ attached है. Okay, so now the archegonium, inside the archegonium the zygote is there. Now that zygote develops into a sporophyte. धीरे धीरे आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर एक स्टॉक प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है, then gradually it is enlarging, and here you can see the whole structure, the archegonial structure becomes like this. Okay, and then it forms the sporophyte. It forms the sporophyte. This part is called sporophyte. So the sporophyte develops on the female branch which is called archegoniophore. So they develop on the archegoniophore. तो यहाँ पर आपका archegonium था, तो archegonium के अंदर ही zygote formation हुआ, zygote फिर divide होके now it has been, the archegonium is developed into a sporophyte. तो ये sporophyte का फिर दो पार्ट होता है, that is capsule, seta, और the नीचे वाला हिस्सा जो कि फूट होता है. ठीक है, सो अभी ये कैप्सूल के अंदर क्या है आपका, the cells are there. The cells now it is containing spores. So the cells inside it undergoes division to produce the spores. So now you can see the capsule is mature and it contains enough spores. So when it matures, then it bursts, the spores are released, and again the spore gets the sufficient moisture, and then it gives rise to again a protonema. धीरे धीरे ये प्रोटोनेमा में डेवलप हो रहा है, प्राइमरी प्रोटोनेमा, then secondary protonema, then the whole gametophyte. So in this way there are two phases in its life cycle, that is gametophytic phase and a sporophytic phase, and they are alternating with each other. That's why they show a true alternation of generation. So here it is very much clear to you. The main plant is gametophyte, upon which the sporophyte is a parasite. Remember, this is very important. The plant body is a gametophyte. Upon the female branch, which is called archegoniophore, the sporophyte is developed. Sporophyte reproduces asexually and gives rise to gametophyte. Gametophyte reproduces sexually and gives rise to sporophyte. So this is called alternation of generation. often the short note on protonema is asked. So what is protonema? Already I have told you. It is a thread-like chain of cells that forms the earliest stage of the you can say the gametophyte. The moss spore germinates to form a filamentous structure that is called protonema, and here is the picture of protonema. So here in this session we discussed the life cycle, economic importance of bryophytes, and the life cycle of bryophytes are very important. The leaf-like, root-like, stem-like structures and especially the rhizoids are very important. Then the male plant body and male plant body and the sporophyte, how they alternate with each other in their life cycle, gametophyte and sporophyte, that is also very important. So I hope it is clear to you the life cycle of both moss and liverwort. I have explained it with very good diagrams. So in our next session we will discuss the pteridophytes. Thank you for watching the video completely. If you have not yet subscribed my channel, please subscribe it, and you can see the other topics of class 11th as well as class 12th videos also I am uploading, that also you can watch. Thank you.